Okay, let's do a little bit of news. Before we get started, okay, that's good enough, I think, to get started again. I got a lot of emails from people saying, hey, I missed a porch set, and hey, I missed the news, because I announced like 2 weeks ago that there would be no news or any of that kind of stuff because, well, if you watch the videos, you know why. Thanks for your patience. Appreciate it. Appreciate the emails. Real quick, because somebody brought it up. Everybody seemed to think it was a great idea. I got a lot of comments. I got a lot of emails saying that they thought it was a great idea. Well, I did it. I came up with a design. You may or may not like it. I don't know. I'm not a designer in any way. But if you want your "Don't leave your keys in a golf cart" t-shirt, or if you want your "Don't leave your keys in your golf cart" coffee mug, they are now available. You have to go down in the description box. You'll see them down there. All you gotta do is click on the link and it'll take you right to the site. You can pick out your color, t-shirt, whatever it is, and your color of your coffee mugs. There's all kinds of colors. I think it's pink, red, black, blue, and yellow. I think that's what they are. Anyway, it's up. That's another one of the ideas. Kickstart Children's Wish Foundation's fund. It'll go into the fund with everything else. So, you know, go get your stuff, man. Go get your stuff. The Florida Turnpike protesters were turned away Tuesday by the village's regional department at the Everglades Recreation Center. The protesters had planned to hold a 4 p.m. press conference at the Recreation Center ahead of the 5 p.m. Sumter County Board of Commissioners meetings. Quick comment on that. Most of these protesters are not residents here. They're people from Wildwood and whatever. They want to come into our recreation centers and they want to protest. Our recreation centers, all of them, are closed to the public. They are not open to the public. You can be invited if they want you in there. They can invite you and make reservations for you, but you just can't show up and say we're going to go in and protest. No, it don't work that way. We pay for these buildings as residents. We pay for the maintenance of them. They're ours to do with what we want. So to say you're going to show up and protest, no. And you can't stand out in the parking lot and protest if you think you can. No, they'll escort you out. That also is private property. The residents own all that. So this is why sometimes these protesters are escorted away. Generally speaking, we don't have that big of a problem here with any of this, but I just wanted to point that out. It became a drama the day before when, after having offered a room in the Everglades Recreation Center, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. For the press conference of the week before, the Recreation Department of the villages contacted the No Roads to Ruin Coalition. Coalition. What coalition? See, there's always an agenda. On Monday, and rescinded their room offer with little time to make new plans. Well, tough noogies. The Sierra Club organizing representative who had attempted to coordinate with the recreation department, he said he was told that although the Board of County Commissioners meet there, the Everglades Recreation Center is a private building run by the villages, and as such, the village's personnel may escort us off the premises if we don't have a room reservation and remove us from the parking lot, sidewalk, entranceway, if they consider us an impediment to traffic flow. And yes, that is correct. A Village of Belvedere woman was arrested after an alleged police baton beating attack. Gretchen Lee Burke, 52, was arrested at about 10:30 a.m. Monday by Sumter County Sheriff's deputies. Burke had been involved in an argument with a woman at their home. When Burke tried to get into a car and leave, the other woman got into the passenger seat in an attempt to prevent Burke from driving away, according to the arrest report. Burke grabbed a police baton from under the driver's seat and began striking the woman on the left side of her body over and over. The woman had blood coming down from her ear as a result of the attack. A third person retrieved the police baton. Which had been hidden underneath the kitchen oven and turned it over to the deputies. Burke was arrested on a charge of aggravated battery. She was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center on a $5,000 bond. A Village of Lake Deaton resident was jailed after skipping a court date. John R. Cooney, 73, was booked Monday at the Sumter County Detention Center. He failed to appear in court to answer to a charge of leaving the scene of an accident. Cooney had been free on bond in connection with a 2021 incident in which he allegedly stole jewelry and medication from a home of his estranged girlfriend. She had arrived home from a dog park to find him in her house without permission, according to a arrest report from Sumter County Sheriff's Office. After he was removed from her Village of Osceola Hills home by law enforcement, she discovered that the jewelry and medication was missing. The California native is facing charges of theft and burglary in that incident. A Spruce Creek man was found to have methamphetamine tucked in his wallet after an arrest for driving on a suspended license. You get the feeling sometimes that half the people out here on the highway are either illegal immigrants or they just don't have a driver's license at all and nobody seems to really care. Matthew Troy Goff, 62, was driving a white Chevrolet S10 on Saturday when he was spotted by a Marion County Sheriff's deputy who was aware that Goff has a suspended license. Goff had been driving on US Highway 441 but turned down a dirt road in an apparent attempt to elude the deputy. He finally pulled over at 16963 Southeast 104th Terrace. Man, what a goofy address. Goff admitted he did not stop because he knew his driver's license is suspended. He had a hypodermic needle in his pocket, and a search of the vehicle turned up a glass pipe and a scale hidden in the driver's side door pocket. When Goff was being booked at the jail, a plastic bag containing methamphetamine was found in his wallet. He was charged with eluding law enforcement, possession of drug paraphernalia, and driving while license suspended. He was booked at Marion County Jail and released on a $6,000 bond. I just don't get it. New law cracks down on loud music coming from automobiles. It's nice to know that they have this law, especially around retirement communities. A new law is cracking down on loud music coming from automobiles. The new law took effect July 1st in Florida. It allows law enforcement officials to issue citations for loud music that is plainly audible at a distance of 25 feet or more. The new law also forbids music that is louder than necessary for a convenient hearing by persons inside a vehicle in areas adjoining churches, schools, and hospitals, otherwise known as quiet zones. You took the driver's test just like I did, so you know what the quiet zones are. You know, there's an old saying, ignorance of the law is no excuse. There doesn't have to be a speed limit sign in certain areas that you can still get a speeding ticket or a citation because you're supposed to know. Inside a residential area here, there's no speed limit signs in here. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you know what the speed limit is inside a residential area? The provisions of the new law do not apply to motor vehicles used for business or political purposes, which in a normal course of conducting such business uses sound-making devices. Also, it does not apply to a car's horn. They're specific. I'll say that for them. Villagers finally got their first look at the new First Responders Recreation Center on Wednesday, and everybody liked what they saw. Following an opening ceremony and ribbon-cutting event, hundreds of residents toured and sampled the activities at the new center. A facility was designed as a tribute to first responders, including law enforcement, firefighters. I got those hats back here on the chair. Those are firefighters right there. Paramedics, EMTs, and other heroes. Paramedics and EMTs, as far as I know, they haven't ever sent me a hat yet, so I don't wear it because I don't have it. And it is decorated with memorabilia donated by more than 100 former first responders who live in Florida's friendliest hometown. I think it's a wonderful tribute, especially at a time when law enforcement is maybe underappreciated, and that is true. I support them as much as I can. A retired New York Police Department detective who lives in the villages of Briar Meadow. It's a beautiful facility, very well done. I think it's one of the nicest rec centers in the villages, right up there with Eisenhower. The Eisenhower Recreation Center, which opened in 2013 near Brownwood, is dedicated to military heroes. John D'Angelo, retired deputy fire chief from Peabody, Massachusetts, who lives in the villages of Calumet Grove, had a chance to see the patch he donated on display in the firefighters' room. In addition to enjoying the tribute, he's glad to see something new on the north side of the villages. Well, there's been quite a bit up there that's new on the north side of the villages. That statement's really not exactly accurate. You had Cody's, and it closed down because of the COVID thing, and then something took over Cody's. I'm sorry, I don't remember, but there's a restaurant that took over. So you have a new restaurant up there. You've got this recreation place here, And if I remember right, that was a church. And that went in negotiations for a long time with the villages to buy this church, to put this recreation there. So that's part of the reason why it took so long to get that built. I don't know everything up there. Oh, you have the Sawyer neighborhoods up there that are only a couple, 3 years old. That's all new. So there's a lot of new stuff up there, or newer stuff up there. This just happens to be the newest up there. The complaint here that they're trying to allude to is they think that the developer is concentrating most of the money in the newer area and he's forgetting about the older area. I have brought that up in the past, so if you haven't seen all my videos, you're missing out on a lot of stuff. I did several golf cart tours up at the what they call historical area, which is Orange Blossom Gardens, Silver Lake, and I can't think of the other one, I'm sorry. There's 3 of them up there. And we did a complete tour of the whole place. I even went by Harold Schwartz's old house. He actually lived amongst us. And his house was in the historical area. He had a little nice walkout pier that went over a, well, you might call it a little lake, but actually it's a retention pond. But anyway, he had a nice little place there. I showed that. I showed a lot up there. And I did say then that with the landscaping in some of the areas where the swimming pools are at and things of that nature, looked a little overgrown, and I didn't look like I thought those people up there were getting their short end of a stick because they weren't getting, I thought, the decorative attention that a lot of the areas are getting, including my area. It seems like a lot of the focus has been on building to the south. See, that's what they allude to all the time. So it's nice to know we're not forgotten up here. See, and I can go back years ago when the village of Santiago said the same thing. They're closing down all the local restaurants, which I'll tell you, I liked it. I liked it too. They're shutting down this restaurant next to our executive course. They're shutting down that restaurant. They're doing away with it. This ain't the villages that I come into. We don't have a recreation center here like they do down south. It was always hazardous. Well, as they move further south, they learn lessons. We made a mistake here, so when we go there, we're going to correct that mistake. That's how it works. So they came in, and I forget what the cost was, makes no difference. And Santiago built their new recreation center, not new now, but a few years ago. So they got that new recreation center. So to say that we never get any attention up here, really, that's not fair to the developer and his designing team at all. Because you're getting your stuff. You may not get as much as they're getting down south. Why? They're building down south. So there's a lot of room down there that they can say, hey, you know, we're going to set this land aside for a McDonald's. We're going to set it aside for a public grocery store over here. Your land's already built on. They can't design all that up there unless they run everybody out of their houses. I mean, so you're just not going to see that kind of building up there. So, you know, you just have to get over that. You're not going to see it. But to say that you're not getting attention up there, I think that's stretching it there just a little bit. The process of building the center started in 2018 when the Amenity Authority Committee purchased the 19-acre property from the First Baptist Church of the Villages. See, it took a while. Outdoor amenities include several not previously available north of County Road 466, such as an 18-hole putt-and-play golf course, a resort-style family pool, a fire pit, and platform tennis. I talked about that when I took that nighttime golf cart ride when the lady almost forgot her dog. That was funny. Along with a lawn, bowling, croquet green, and courts for pickleball, basketball, sand volleyball, along with beach tennis. Beach tennis. Is that badminton? Is that what we're talking about? Badminton? They call it beach tennis down here. We always call it badminton up north. So I suppose if you throw a dump truck load of gravel down and then set up the badminton nets and everything, it's called beach tennis. Am I wrong? I don't know. Tell me. A total cost of the project, including the acquisition of the property, was $7.175 million, and AAC members are proud the center came in on time and on budget. I'm glad they got it done too. I'm sorry, but I'm just a big supporter of all the people that, I know they get paid, but, you know, the things that they do for all the residents, not just here in a retirement community, even though here is probably more important than a lot of other places. But I mean, the police, the fire, doctors, nurses, ambulance drivers, just the driver, and then the people that works in the back of the ambulances and emergency centers and all the things it takes for a place that's just full of elderly people to make us feel comfortable and to help take care of us. I just can't say enough.
A former New Yorker with a long history of arrests has been accused of stealing a ring and cash from a resident of the Villages. Jamie Shiloh Pettit, 43, was arrested Thursday on 2 felony counts of theft by Sumter County Sheriff's deputies. A woman with whom Pettit resides reported that the ring and $150 cash were missing. The woman added that Pettit was aware she had gone to the bank and was therefore in possession of cash. The victim's address was redacted from the arrest report. Pettit was living with her boyfriend and his mother at 1625 Navidad Street in the village of Alhambra when she was arrested in 2020. Pettit was living in the village of Santo Domingo when she was arrested in 2016 for taking a woman's cell phone without permission. She was convicted of theft in Sumter County in 2019 and 2015. She was convicted of theft in New York in 2011 and 2012. After this week's arrest, the Smithton, New York native was taken into custody and booked at the Sumter County Detention Center. They never go away. A human smuggling suspect has been jailed after he was linked with illegal immigrants from Nicaragua staying at a local hotel. The Florida Highway Patrol and the U.S. Border Patrol conducted an investigation on Wednesday, which ultimately led them to the Budget Inn on State Road 44, where the Nicaraguans have been staying. Pedro Marte Rodriguez, 49, a native of Dominican Republic, who now lists a Duluth, Georgia address, has been driving a maroon Toyota Sequoia with Georgia license plates on Interstate 75 in Sumter County when he was pulled over for suspected window tint violation. 3 Nicaraguans were traveling in the vehicle with him. Rodriguez said he hires out the men as laborers at a rate of $25 an hour for each of them and then pays each worker $16 to $18 an hour. A bag containing a woman's clothing was found in the vehicle. The Nicaraguans admitted they were staying at the Budget Inn, and when Florida Highway Patrol and U.S. Borders went there, they found the woman to whom the clothing belonged. She answered the door at room 111. She confirmed she was in the United States illegally, and she said she had been in contact with Rodriguez prior to leaving Nicaragua. She showed law enforcement text messages between her and Rodriguez dating back to this past January. Rodriguez was arrested on multiple charges, including human smuggling. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center on a $25,000 bond. Members of the PWAC board, made up of supervisors from Community Development Districts 5 through 12, plus the Brownwood Community Development District, have been debating the replacement of the rotted windmill and water tower, which had to be demolished prior to the start of hurricane season. The ornamental, non-functioning structures had been deemed a safety hazard. The original quote for demolition and reconstruction was $225,000. However, several CDD supervisors have bristled at the idea of using amenity money to replace the structures which serve no real purpose. Others have suggested that the work could be delayed. Many villagers have said the windmill and water tower were nothing more than gimmicks aimed at generating home sales. They say the developer should pay the cost. The attorney's memo made it clear that the CDDs, also known as numbered districts, have a responsibility to keep up with the shared infrastructure. Well, I believe there's a contractual agreement that when each one of us home buyers bought, we signed a paper at the bank or whatever for closing that said we accepted the rules. A villager's mermaid mural will be the subject of a public hearing next week at Savannah Center. The public hearing is slated to take place during the 3:30 p.m. Wednesday meeting of the Village Center Community Development District Board of Supervisors. Aaron Collette lives in the waterfront site-built home at 1012 Aloha Way on the historic site of the Villages. Collette, a career emergency room nurse, said an anonymous troll, they don't exist, lodged a complaint about her home where there is a mermaid painted on her garage door. A parrotfish and starfish are also painted on the door of her golf cart garage. The former Pennsylvania resident said she spent $4,500 on murals. She said she wanted to give her plain home character. We had this argument on, I think, on my last news that I did a couple weeks ago about somebody made a statement saying that they didn't care what anybody done with their yard as long as it was done in good taste. And I said, you can't do that. You can't rule a district or anything like like that, because who defines what good taste is? My idea of good taste and this lady's idea of good taste is way off track.
Letter to the editor. On Sunday, July 24th, I observed a 4-passenger golf cart driven by a very young boy, plus another youngster and an adult male trying to make a left turn off the busy street in Belvedere. Directly in front of me was a village's safety truck. A village's safety truck. I have no idea what that is unless she's talking about community watch or neighbor watch truck. She must mean neighborhood watch truck. Right away, I'm suspicious about what she's going to say because of the way she's wording things. The truck turned their overhead emergency lights on and went up to the cart. The line of traffic stopped. All the passengers in my car thought for sure he was informing the adults about youngsters under the age of 14 driving the cart. We were very surprised after a few minutes he allowed them to make the left turn. Still with the youngsters driving, for sure the adults should have switched with the youngster. This is how cart accidents happen. And that is sent in by Joe Stiles, the village of Glenbrook. A speeding teenage driver from Guatemala was arrested by Sumter County Sheriff's deputies. Danny Anelson Lopez, 18, of Summerfield, was driving a black Nissan pickup at 8:53 a.m. Tuesday when he was caught on radar traveling at 60 miles per hour in a 35 miles per hour zone on County Road 209, according to the arrest report. During the traffic stop, it was ascertained that Lopez only spoke Spanish. Well, of course. A computer check revealed he has never been issued a driver's license in the United States because he's illegal. In addition, an identification card issued to another Hispanic male was found in the truck. Lopez insisted the card belonged to his biological brother. Now, why would he say that? Biological brother. Lopez was arrested on a charge of driving without a valid license. He was also issued a verbal warning for speeding, a verbal warning. You know why? That officer knows this kid is illegal. He's never going to show up to court, and he's just wasting everybody's time. Because they're going to let him go. Let's read on. He was booked at Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $500 bond. That means he put up $50, or somebody did, and he went walking. It never ends. If you guys don't think this illegal problem from the southern border isn't a problem, you're not keeping your ears and eyes open. This is stuff here. I don't report all of it. This stuff here happens almost every day. Just here. A man from Mexico with no driver's license was nabbed on a drunk driving charge with multiple Modelo beer cans in his pickup. Gilberto Salinas Garcia, 31, of Wildwood, was found passed out in his truck, which was parked diagonally in the roadway at about 9:30 p.m. Tuesday on County Road 201 in Oxford. Oxford is, I'm not too far from here actually. It neighbors the villages. Matter of fact, my motorhome is stored in Oxford. A deputy found the truck and beat on it until she was able to rouse Garcia, who was sleeping. The vehicle's engine was running. He did not speak English, of course not, and it appeared he had been drinking. You think. A check revealed that he has never been issued a driver's license in the United States. That's because he's illegal. A 12-pack of Modelo beer was found in the truck. Only 2 unopened beer cans remained in the box. There were 4 empty cans in the back seat. Garcia struggled through field sobriety exercises and provided breath samples that measured .217 and .218 blood alcohol content. He was arrested and charges of driving under the influence and driving without a license and booked at Sumter County Detention Center. Well, sounds like to me that when they booked him, he's there to stay for a while. There was no bond. Community Watch was blocking off a street after a sinkhole opened up near a driveway in the villages. A sinkhole was surrounded by barricades Thursday at the home on Wesley Street in the village of Springdale. That's way up north. An aerial view of the sinkhole showed it is several feet wide and several feet deep. The home is located in Community District 4, where 2 homes were severely damaged by sinkholes in February 2018. Residents of CDD4 were hit later that year with a 20% increase in their maintenance assessments to pay for the repairs to infrastructure around that sinkhole. By the way, at the end of this news video, if I ever get through it, we're going to have fun with bad parking once again. A Mexican immigrant who doesn't have a driver's license, well, I am shocked once again, was arrested on a DUI charge after an officer saw him run over a curb near Spanish Springs early Sunday morning. Shortly after 2 a.m., a Leesburg police officer on patrol in the villages saw a red car strike the curb and drive over it at the intersection of Alvarez Avenue and Delmar Drive. You know, there's an old neighborhood right there. I've never done a drive-through. I have done it on the one on the other side of the road, and I can't think of the name name of it, but the village of Delmar. It's one of the older areas when they first experimented building stick-built homes. Up until that point, everything was basically manufactured housing from the historical area. They got Spanish Springs. They started building south of Spanish Springs or around Spanish Springs. They did the courtyard villas, which has always been popular, and then they kind of went in Delmar and they mixed it. If you drive through there, you'll see it. You'll see a manufactured home, but most of these manufactured homes aren't set up like they are in the historical area. Most of those are set on a concrete slab and bolted down, where they look like a stick-built home, but they're manufactured homes. Next to it could be a stucco home, and next to that could be a stick-built vinyl home. They kind of did a mixture up there, and it was all an experiment to see which one sold quickest and fastest and everything, and that kind of led them on down the pike to know more and more about what we're going to build, the designs we're going to build, and so on and so forth. And the reason why things have gotten so pricey nowadays is because, just like Disney World, all the farmers around here, this is all farm ground, all the farmers around here know the village is expanding. And so guess what they're doing? They're holding out for the bigger bucks. All of a sudden a guy knocks on our door and says, hey, we were thinking about, building here. They suspect they know who it is. It doesn't make any difference who it is. The price of property here has boomed because of our town squares and because of the village's property, basically. The vehicle then made a right turn onto Alvarez and continued without staying in its lane, according to the police report. The officer conducted a traffic stop near the intersection of Alvarez Avenue and Avienda Central. The driver, Luis Enrique Gonzalez, 30, of 76 Sanjay Lane in Leesburg, did not roll his window down until requested and indicated it was broken. When the officer opened the door to speak with him, he immediately noticed the smell of alcohol. When asked for his driver's license, Gonzalez says he didn't have one and gave the officer a passport and an ID from Mexico. An online database search showed Gonzalez did not have a driver's license. The officer observed Gonzalez's moves were exaggerated and his eye movements were glassy, according to a report. His blood alcohol content tested 0.175 and 0.184. Gonzalez was taken to Lake County Jail, where he was released after posting a $4,000 bond. He is scheduled to appear in Lake County Court August the 17th. Well, good luck with that. An emergency room nurse at UF Health, the village's hospital, was attacked by a naked man. The nurse was working in the ER on Thursday morning when she spotted 31-year-old James Stephen Bicart of Lady Lake walking around completely naked. The nurse and a fellow nurse escorted Bicart back into the exam room. When they reached the exam room, Bicart lunged at one of the nurses and wrapped his arms around her in an attempt to drag her to the floor. The other nurse grabbed Bicart, who stands 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighs 180 pounds, and pulled him off the nurse he attacked. When deputies attempted to interview Bicart, he has a Virginia driver's license. He would mumble incoherent responses to questions. He was arrested on a felony charge of battery and booked on a $5,000 bond at the Sumter County Detention Center. See, that's all you got to do to get into the emergency room. Just walk around naked. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. An 83-year-old villager has been jailed without bond after repeatedly testing positive for alcohol use in violation of his probation. Donald Henderson Flowers of the village of Sunset Point was booked Thursday at the Sumter County Detention Center. He had appeared in Sumter County Court earlier that day and was remanded to the jail. He had been arrested in 2021 at Winn-Dixie at Lake Sumter Landing after driving drunk in a golf cart. As a result, Flowers is placed on probation for 12 months. He lost his driver's license for 6 months and was ordered to perform 50 hours of community service. He also was ordered to seek an alcohol evaluation and pursue any recommended treatment, as well as stay clear of alcohol. That always works, that order. I order you. Court files indicated the Kansas City native faithfully worked out his community service hours at Operation Shoebox at Lake Meona Recreation Center and at St. Paul Parish in Bellevue. In fact, Flowers earned rave reviews such as excellent attitude, great worker, and always a gentleman for his efforts. However, he was discharged unsuccessfully from a treatment program and failed to provide clean screenings 3 times in 2021 and 4 times in 2022. A controversial political protester in the villages has been cleared in another legal case. Can you guess who that is? It's our buddy Ed McGinty. A motion was granted this week in Sumter County Court dismissing a charge of violating an injunction against 74-year-old Ed McGinty of the village of Hadley. Ed McGinty originally was arrested September 24th after reportedly showing up at a home of a woman in the villages with whom he has been locked in a long-running, bitter political feud. I don't get this political feud stuff. It's like everybody's trying to take the rights from the other guy. I don't care who you are. Republicans are telling Democrats, you're screwed in the head and we hate your guts and anybody that votes for you is an idiot. All you Republicans, you're all full of crap. We hate your guts and we're going to do what we want no matter what you think. And if anybody voted for a Republican is a terrorist. I don't get it at all. I did not grow up this way at all. And what causes this is beyond me. You can't point the finger. You can't point the finger and say, well, because of that guy is the reason why it's a problem. Because of that guy is the reason why it's a problem. No. It's you. You are the problem. There's no sense in this. Disrespect, none. I don't care who you vote for. You're going to do what you want to do. That's your right, and I defend it. I don't have to agree with it, but I'll defend it. Harry Truman once said that. I don't agree with you, but I'll defend your right to say it, you know? But anyway. McGinty was charged with stalking after showing up at the woman's home in the villages. However, McGinty was acquitted of that charge earlier this year after the prosecutor's office failed to prove its case. McGinty was charged with violating an injunction while free on bond in the stalking case when he returned to the Hadley Pool and parked near the political nemesis golf cart. Instead, he was merely prohibited from having direct contact with his political foe. McGinty and his attorney have maintained McGinty has allowed to be at the pool until October 26th, thanks to the ruling earlier this year by the Sumter County Community Development District Board of Supervisors. That board based its decision on advice from Recreation Director John Rohan. Isn't that funny how he can ban a resident that pays to maintain that pool, but he can't ban people that don't live here from going in that pool area and using our restrooms. He can't do that. John, I swear to God, you're useless. Neighbors in the village of Tamarind Grove, such as Julie Salomon, have expressed concerns over a blind person walking on the street with just a white cane. Cars do not observe the 15-mile-per-hour speed limit. While it is true that the blind cannot see, they are invisible to drivers here in the villages, Solomon said, that can see. Bebe Chudez, C-H-U-D-E-U-S-Z. Bebe Chudez, mobility trainer for New Vision for Independence in Leesburg, will be speaking on the topic at 1:30 p.m. Thursday, August the 4th at Churchill Recreation Center. Residents of the villages and surrounding areas are invited. A judge has released a man suspected of stealing a golf cart from the Outback Steakhouse restaurant in the villages. Robert Joseph Gibson, 43 of Weirsdale, was released on his own recognizance Wednesday after spending 50 days in the Lake County Jail. He was arrested June 13th in connection with the theft of a 2020 Yamaha golf cart valued at $20,000, which had been parked April 8th at Outback at Rolling Acres Plaza, according to the affidavit of probable cause from the Lady Lake Police Department. The owner left the restaurant at about 7:30 p.m. and discovered his golf cart was missing from the parking lot. A review of video surveillance led a detective to suspect Gibson had stolen the golf cart. The detective was aware that Gibson had been associated with previous golf cart thefts. The golf cart was found on the property of Christopher Wyatt on Singletary Road in rural Lady Lake. Wyatt was arrested in 2020 on a charge of aggravated manslaughter in the death of his young son. Has not been charged in the theft of the golf cart. In 2019, Gibson was arrested after running out of coals in Lady Lake wearing a pair of stolen Nike shoes. Wonderful people. Bowing to community pressure, the Florida Department of Transportation announced Thursday it will halt the Northern Turnpike expansion project, at least temporarily. The department announced it has completed an alternative corridor evaluation study without a recommendation for a specific corridor, will not pursue the project any further until options can be reassessed to address concerns of the department and the community. Instead, the department will focus on improving Interstate 75, according to an FDOT, Florida Department of Transportation news release. So they have temporarily won. We'll see. I'll keep you informed. The Amenity Authority Committee will take a hard look next week at the future of the Paradise Recreation Center. The Recreation Center on the historic side of the Villages was established in 1984. It saw a major renovation in 2006. It is a heavy center for activities and includes the Mark Twain Library. District Property Management has described the Recreation Center as old and outdated with multiple inefficiencies. For years, the recommendation has been to complete demolition and rebuild. The AEC has been reluctant to take on too many major capital projects at once, but fresh off the rave reviews of the newly opened First Responders Recreation Center, committee members appear to be ready to dive into a new project. Well, get ready up there in the historical area. You might be seeing yourself a brand new recreation center being brought in. I'm for it. Place up there has been overlooked for a long time. I'm not pointing fingers, I'm just saying. Everything up there is old. It is outdated. It's nice, but it is old. Look at Spanish Springs, for example. Just the town itself. It's a great town. I got nothing against the town. The architectural town's great. But when you look at it, do you see old? I do. It just looks old, tired. It needs spruced up. An Iowa retiree in a golf cart was arrested on a drunk driving charge after driving along U.S. Highway 27 and 441. Man, you are not supposed to go on any major road. Oh gosh. There are signs everywhere saying, you know, golf cart, no further. Golf carts cannot go no further than here. Alan Burdett Russell, 63, who lives at 354 Ivanhoe Circle in Lady Lake, was driving a beige Yamaha golf cart shortly before 10 p.m. Wednesday, heading north parallel to Highway 27 and 441. A traffic stop was initiated at Discount Tobacco. The overwhelming aroma of alcohol was emitting from Russell's person. Russell later admitted he had consumed 6 shots of gin and a couple of beers. He nearly fell over during field sobriety exercises and refused to provide a breath sample. A computer check revealed his license was suspended in 2018. I don't care where you're from anymore. It seems like anybody around here that gets pulled over by the cops, they don't have a driver's license. Russell was arrested on charges of driving under the influence and driving while license suspended. He also received a verbal warning for driving an unregistered vehicle. He was booked at the Lake County Jail and released after posting a $1,500 bond. A woman with marijuana tucked in her bra was arrested at the Circle K in the Villages. Felicia Ann Erskine, 36, of Yalaha, was a passenger in a gray SUV at about 6:30 a.m. Wednesday at the Circle K at Spanish Plains when the odor of burnt marijuana was detected coming from her side of the vehicle. During a pat-down, the deputy found a piece of folded-up paper in Asinska's bra. The paper contained marijuana. A cylinder container, which also held marijuana, was found in her pelvic area inside her pants. Erskine was arrested on charges of possession of marijuana and possession of drug paraphernalia. She was booked at Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $1,500 bond. In 2019, Erskine was arrested at the Walmart at Buffalo Ridge Plaza in the Villages. Changes for 4 proposed housing projects along Powell Road and County Road 462 were endorsed Tuesday at a meeting at the Wildwood Planning and Zoning Board. Special Magistrate Lindsay C.T. Holt recommended approval of comprehensive plan amendments and/or zoning changes for Turkey Run Wildwood Landing Phase 2, townhomes at Powell, and the villas of Wildwood. The Wildwood City Commission could take final action on the recommendations later this month. Villagers raised questions about 2 of the developments. Village of Tamarind Grove resident Elaine Cohn, who lives near Wildwood Landing Phase 2 project, said she and her neighbors are concerned about security and traffic. That'll get you nowhere. You know, I brought this up before. If you're going to have an argument, you got to come up with something different. The traffic thing and all, it never works. It ain't going to work. Wildwood Landing is on the east side of 462, north of Beaumont Development at County Road 466A. The owner, Marilyn Brown Eskew, wants to build 28 single-family homes on 7.35 acres. Holt recommended approval of median residential zoning for the development. Cohn said she wants to see a strong buffer that would prevent people from jumping over the fence to get into the villages. She has a good point there, because this has been brought up before with other apartment and developments that's right on the edge, on the outside of the villages, and the brick wall behind these courtyard villas and things are short enough to where kids and whatever are jumping the wall to get into the villages. And this is the thing, no matter who builds water around here, it's all about getting in here. They don't want to pay any amenity fees, they don't want to pay any maintenance fees, they just don't want to pay, but they want to get in here to use it. She said 4 neighbors recently sold their homes due to worries about the project. I'm telling you, if that project really worries you, they're on the right track. Sell it and get out of there, because it'll only get worse. Buffers, I can see where buffers would help if they're done right, but for you that want a buffer, I guarantee you, if he puts in the penetrable buffer there, you're going to have a half a dozen other people that live around you or somewhere in that area that's going to complain about the buffer. They're going to do what they did up north. They're going to say it's the Berlin Wall. That's all that was a buffer to keep people from coming in. And then people up there raised hell about it. I thought it was a great idea. Holt said concerns about a buffer can be raised later when a site plan is submitted for approval. Yeah, I know we're just saying, come back later and talk to us. Hey, we ain't got time right now. Villager Bob Morgan said he also is concerned about a buffer for the townhomes at Powell Road. An 8-foot barrier wall has been proposed. The owner, Wildwood United Methodist Church, wants to build 128 townhomes on about 13 acres east of Powell Road and south of the Sumter County offices. An amendment would change the zoning to central mixed use. Turkey Run is the largest project, where 314 units of multifamily housing have been proposed as part of the 51-acre mixed-use development near the northwest corner of County Roads 466A and 462. Holt recommended approval of the zoning change to central mixed use for about 6 acres of the project. Okay, I believe that's going to be all the news I'm going to do right now. I got a lot of editing to do. I'm a little rusty at this. Let me just remind you to help kickstart the Children's Wish Fund. It was your suggestion. I did it. You have your don't leave your key in the golf cart coffee mugs, don't leave your key in the golf cart t-shirts you can pick. It's in the description box below. Just go down there, find the link you want, click on it, it'll take you right there. Pick out what you want. The color, I think you got to put in your address for the shipping, because they ship it, I don't. And when we get all the profits in from that, whatever it may be, I'll let you know. And the kids will thank you, and I thank you. So let's watch the bad parking in the villages. You can look at them, you can laugh. If you're like me, you're going to do a lot of head shaking. Some of them you'll notice it right away, exactly what's wrong. Others of you that don't live here, you're going to look at things going, well, what's wrong with that? That's because you don't live here and you don't know the etiquette about golf cart parking and things like that. But it's okay. You'll learn as time goes on. So with that being said, let me say thanks everybody for subscribing. Thanks for the thumbs up, the comments below. Just thanks for watching my channel and being my friend. I'll see you all on the other side.
Don't leave your keys in the golf cart.